Ramadan for me has always been my most favorite time of the year. The UAE really comes alive during Ramadan, and the entire month is a month of celebrations, late night gatherings, and lots of experimenting of delicious recipes. This has been our third Iftar gathering, so thank you again for joining us. These Iftars for me are extremely special because it's a chance for us to be able to connect with friends across the ocean as well.
As Dana mentioned, Ramadan for us is it's a social time, it's a time of coming together, it's a time of giving, it's a time of reflection, and it's the 1 month in the year where we're all somehow synchronized. We've been doing this now every week with a group of friends, and when Dana and folks at the embassy said, can we bring our friends that are on the other side of the pond as well, I jumped at that opportunity.
I'm very pleased to see so many friendly faces, old friends and hopefully new friends.
It's an honor and privilege to be invited to this Iftar with so many friends and to meet new friends. Donna, I commend you for your embracing this tradition, and it's with great pleasure to be at the table. We too gather around the table over food all the time. And this pandemic, now it's just our family, but that to me is just given me great privilege to cook again, the way I haven't in some time. So I look forward to this conversation. So thank you for having me at the table.
This is so beautiful, and because it's about food, but it's about people, and it's about home, culture, and family and community. I mean, I just flipped through it. The photography is great, so I can't wait to get into this and cook for my family.
Ramadan was always my favorite time of the year, regardless of the fact that it, at least during my tour, usually hit in the hot summer months. It was my absolute favorite time of the year. The sahurs in particular, I just came to love. And they amplified everything that's special about, of course, Ramadan, which is the slowing down, the spirituality, the reflection that the holy month of Ramadan imparts to everyone.
My warmest greetings to those of you who are breaking your fast, and my warmest wishes, Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak, etc. It's a wonderful time of year. I have fond memories of being in Cairo during Ramadan. I spent 2 years living in Cairo, and 1 year I decided to fast. And it was really extraordinary to experience, even in that token way, the collective experience that is Ramadan. It's something that I miss. So it's a great pleasure to join you virtually, even if very, very briefly.
I was previously working for nearly 10 years on the Guggenheim Abu Dhabi project. So I actually had a whole nother life in Abu Dhabi, which was so great, filled with friends and food and community, and just, loving being able to get to know a place that has such passion for all the things that I do.
I love the analogy of resetting our scales in a way that we're all kind of learning what's really important. And that while work and professional life is critical for all of us, for me personally, it's been really nice to spend more time with the ones I love.
I'm fortunate enough to have this restaurant that I've been able to create meals on a daily basis for people who work in the healthcare program and the laborers.
Community is in ways imagined, and just because it's taking place in a different form, while its materiality is different, it doesn't mean it's not there. Culture in ways got this image of becoming a tool for economic development, and we always had to present these kind of reductive measures of our institutions, that is through, is it footfall, tourism, or economic return, and now all of a sudden it's this realization that we can no longer ignore ecology or our social impact and commitment that we always, we're presenting is the most important aspect of arts and culture.
Even though most of you I don't know, I think there are probably a lot more connections between us than we realize. right now. I was lucky enough to go on a wonderful trip to the UAE a couple of years ago with Dana and Tige and Meridian as part of a cultural delegation, and that was an experience that I think back to so often. All of the incredible places we visited, including El Circal, which I loved. I think about the time I spent at Louvre Abu Dhabi. I still really look forward to finding the right moment to do some kind of collaboration with an Emirati artist or with the embassy. I think often about how I hope that's possible.
Through these virtual iftars, we're able to connect with people that we haven't seen in a few years. We're able to make new friends. Even though I'm in the UAE, I still feel very much connected to my second home in Washington, D.C., and I'm looking forward to going back.
This pandemic has meant a huge, flowering of digital offerings. And I often, pull my phone out and look very nostalgically at all the pictures I took of the many lovely pieces of art in the Louvre Abu Dhabi. But what they do is bring me back to that moment I was standing in front of the object. And it's not enough to just see a picture, to see it on the screen. I want to go back to that, as Manuel said, that aura.
For me, I think art and museums are going to need to look at more of a hybrid approach, and it's reaching out to constituencies that are looking at the duality of technology platforms and workshops. You're not going to just stand in front, but you want to bring us in. And create these new communities.
We find ourselves in a moment in which the digital turn is accelerating. What's left behind is the material, the auratic. All of us probably had those singular moments in museums in which we beheld something and we were changed.
I really think that there's one thing that needs to be highlighted here, is that all the work that everyone is doing right now is actually helping keeping us human.
To your point, Khalid, art, I think, does nourish us all during this uncertain time.
I always leave these iftars with a sense of hope. You always kind of tend to get bogged down kind of thinking about all the negatives that are associated with this pandemic, and I think when you have these kind of conversations and making new friends, making new connections, I think it gives people a hope that to start thinking again beyond the pandemic and start thinking about when life goes back to a new normal.
Thank you so much again, and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Hanan.